are these people?
Might as well talk about some good news.
Yeah.
At least for me. So this is an extra segment. So Fanto, keep in mind this will be a 5th story.
Yeah.
When you clip it. So shout out to our editor Fanto, who
Thank you so much.
does a wonderful job consistently clipping these streams and cutting them and passing them off to us for us to make clips. So thank you, man. We appreciate you. So yeah, a funny thing happened over the weekend while I was in Atlanta. So I found out, and a lot of you know, I've talked about student loans a lot on this channel. I taught you guys over the summer about my adventure is in getting loan forgiveness. But as I always say, when it comes to government, I believe it when I see it. And lo and behold, Friday night, I was doing some things. I just happened to check Mohilia's website on my account, and I see that everything is in process to have remains of my loans canceled. So almost there. I just need that letter to confirm. But as of right now, I'm in administrative forbearance, meaning I don't have to. Basically, right now, I don't have to pay my student loans ever again, which is exciting considering I've been paying off my loans consistently for the last 10, but off and on for the last 20. So it's definitely something, obviously, that I am really excited about. And of course, other than going out and celebrating Friday night while I was out of town, I also posted on Twitter my news. And for the most part, most of you, or pretty much all of you, were extremely happy for me. So that was exciting. But then there were a couple, I'm sure there are bots, but regardless, they're just some miserable bots who thought it okay to tweet their discontent regarding my student loan forgiveness. So this person was like, yes, the unethical transfer of wealth to woke universities continues. I have no respect for you personally for accepting this. So
why wouldn't you accept free money? I mean, it's not free.
Well, no, it's not even the fact that it's free money. Why wouldn't I accept the idea that the government
pays the debt off, right?
Right. So I responded to said bot, you have no respect for me for entering a career that historically has low pay. I worked in public service for 2 decades. This program rewards people with loan forgiveness after 10 years of service. I'm sorry, but I earned this forgiveness. You can screw off. Pardon my language.
No, you're good. I mean, arguably, yes, no college. Don't pay college anything right now, but you were already in it. So it's like,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do? You know, this is what everyone told you was going to be good for your career and was needed and required.
Right. So, and I've mentioned this on the show before. Like, me not going to school was not a choice for me, really.
Right.
Considering my older siblings and somewhat how they fucked up in terms of not going to university when they were supposed to, and then ending up having to go in their later adult lives. And by then they had children and lives that they had to take care of, that it became much harder. So for me, like, growing up, I remember being 6 and having the idea of when I'm big, I am going to go to college.
Right.
So that's, even then, I remember the indoctrination right then and there. But, you know, obviously being a teacher, and of course, at that time I was 18, 19. I wasn't necessarily thinking about, oh, my salary and, like, you know, would it be worth it to take on being a teacher, but then having the student loans to pay off? I just figured, okay, I go to college, and yeah, I'm gonna have loans, but I'll be able to pay them off,
Right.
assuming that I get a decent job. That didn't necessarily happen for me for the first 10 years out of college. But then once I got more stable after I went to grad school the second time, I got a decent teaching job in a public school where I was able to consistently make the payments, um, every month without a problem. So I'm not complaining about the idea of me going into debt per se. I might complain about how much it was considering the education I received,
Right.
but I've made the payments and I've, like, I mean, I think I told you how much essentially I've paid back um, towards these loan providers in order for me to get my education.
Yeah.
So, yes, as I said, I earned this given the program that's already existing in the books. And we're going to talk about more about that in a minute. But then this twat was like, you present yourself with pride that you stole my money to give it to administrators of a university. Not respectable at all. And no, I have no respect for poor investment decisions that steal money from the collective. That's the inversion of morals. Actually, Reef, I wonder, what does that mean? Like, the
Um,
inversion of morals.
um, hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not sure they know what it means for one.
Right.
Uh, like the inversions, and no, I have no respect for poor investment decisions that steal money from the. I mean, he's upset that his tax dollars went to paying you off, and I guess not everyone else, but like we would probably agree that like we would like everyone's student debts gone, and for those
Right.
not to have thousands of dollars worth of fucking wealth they don't need. Like we all know tuition is fucking what, a 8,000% increase over the last, like, some crazy number like that.
Right.
Let alone books and
I,
fucking. So
look, I will say this, and I'm going to be very transparent. I did the numbers. So I owed, now keep in mind, undergrad and I went to grad school twice. The first time I went to grad school, I didn't finish. I my highest in terms of paying back my student loan debt was $113,000 a year.
okay,
113,000 total.
right,
Okay. So after all said and done, like me paying off my debt over the last 20 years, I probably paid definitely over 100,000 of that. Probably a lot more considering interest. That could have gone to a house. That could have gone to a down payment on a house and have some extra money, right? But
mm-hmm.
instead, 20 years of my life was wasted. And I don't want to say wasted because, yeah, well, getting your education is important. If you're able to go to college is important. I just don't necessarily think for me, being in six-figure debt, it's justifiable, again, with the degrees that I received, and again, for the career path that I chose, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be a teacher from the time I was 18. Didn't make sense to me. And of course, I was 18. I wasn't in a good home position where I felt safe staying at home. I could have stayed at home and went to my public college. Would have been a lot cheaper, but I ended up going out of state and going to a private college. That's on me. But I knew and I was warned, oh, you're going to have to pay back this debt once you're done. I got warned that from my parents. I got warned that from everybody and under the sun.
Yeah,
And I've made it a point. I have not complained. That was the debt that I owed. And I was willing and able to pay it back. And I'm very fortunate and privileged to say that because not everyone who has gone to college, especially now given this economy, can say what I'm saying now.
right. It's
That
not
being
it.
said,
It's not like your
go
position as
ahead.
a teacher is getting you very many like uh rewards necessarily. Like your pay is
Right.
incredibly low for the place you live in. Your, the one stipend you've gotten out of any of this because it's been public service has gotten your debt paid off. And it's not like
Right.
you still had to pay most of it. It's like
Right.
it
No, I
didn't just
practically did. You
right,
can argue I did.
right.
So
Like especially if you bought a degree, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago, you would have already had it paid off
right.
like a long
So
time ago.
essentially,
So
and if anything, with this program that I was a part of, I overpaid.
yeah,
Like the government owes me money back. Sorry, dude, whoever you are, but they owe
which
me
is
money
like
because I've
this
overpaid.
you earned it while millions and myself and millions of other taxpayers worked out asses off. Yeah, Colin did too. He just said he
Right.
paid off most of his debt just because you didn't go into public service like Colin could have done to like or did do. No, you decided to go into, I don't know, a more capitalistic field to make wealth for someone else. So as opposed to, I don't know, teaching children. Like God forbid someone do that. So anyway,
Right. And we need more of them. And look, I'll make it, and I've said this point many times. Look, am I happy that I have my loans forgiven or canceled, whatever you want to call it? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean I can't necessarily celebrate too hard in the sense of I know that there's other people in this country who are struggling trying to pay off their debt. And
yeah,
if anything, this has given me more of a fervent fire to ensure that we are having these discussions as far as why college is charging so much for your
yes,
education. Why not make it accessible to everybody to want to go to college if they want to and make it affordable so that by the end of it, you're not going to be spending like potentially the rest of your life
right,
having this burden over your neck that your money could be best served in other things
yeah,
that will really help the economy versus having to take a job that you may not necessarily want to do in the hope, and I'm saying hope because I'm going to get into it this news clip that I'm going to show in a minute.
well, it's like
The
would these
hope
same
that
people say the same thing for healthcare? Like my tax dollars went to providing the already giant medical industry tons of money. Like my money instead of like me paying off my medical bills myself. I feel like that's
right.
not a great argument. So
No, but I think this just kind of shows the lack of respect
yeah,
really public service providers are in this country.
absolutely.
And again, I think it's just yeah, so but the program that do want to talk this news clip will do the talking for me, but I do want to share the program that I was a part of and why it was an issue in the first place as to I, I don't want to give Biden credit. All he did was crack down on
Yeah,
the bureaucracy that did not
he didn't even do
um
that. Like he sat in a
allow
room with a pen and
right,
someone signed a paper. Like he
right.
essentially made it. He could have vetoed it. He didn't do that. That's about it. He did nothing and it happened.
All Biden did with this program was tighten up the bureaucracy that prevented people, even if they met the requirements,
Right.
did not get their loans forgiven under this program.
Yeah.
But prior to all of this stuff happening, like within the last couple of years, there's been a lot of issues with the public service loan forgiveness program. So
Well, you're saying
this news
this
clip
service
will
already existed. So it definitely wasn't
yes,
Biden that made it. Who made it?
no. Well, let's find out.
Oh, okay.
Go right ahead.
Hold on. Why is that going there?
I can't hear it,
Why?
by the way.
Yeah, hold on. I think I know why. Un momento. Uh, I plugged in the new TV and it switched my input. I'll have to disable that.
Loan forgiveness program.
Now you hear
Many
it, right?
borrowers, including teachers.
Okay.
Tonight, we continue our series on America's student debt crisis, looking at a federal student loan forgiveness program. Many borrowers, including teachers and firefighters, say the program hasn't been forgiving at all, with a 99% rejection rate. Here's Mark Strassman with part 3 of our Eye on America series, Life and Debt.
2, 3, and I love to teach, but I went back to school mostly for what my students could get out of it. Touch their lives.
You went into it with the absolute intent of giving back.
Oh, absolutely. You don't do that for the money.
Debbie Baker is 56, a mother of 2, and a career choir teacher. She directs the education program at a musical nonprofit in Tulsa.
Every year, does this stack of paperwork get bigger?
Yeah, oh yeah.
This paperwork represents a 20-year struggle to pay off her student loans. She graduated from the University of Tulsa in 1999.
How much did you owe?
It was right at about $35,000.
But with deferments and interest, she now owes $80,000, more than double her original loan amount.
I got on there one day and it said, your loans will be forgiven if you die. Yeah, that's nice.
In 2007, Congress passed the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
In 2011?
Public servants making 10 years of qualifying payments would have their loan back.
So, no, 2007. So, Reef.
Okay.
Who was president in 2007?
Let me do a cursory Google. Who was pres in 07?
Probably one of your favorite presidents that you like to make fun of.
7. W.
Yes.
Weapons of mass destruction, W. I should have known that.
Yes.
That guy.
So it was a Republican who started this program.
Interesting.
You would think that you would think that would have been a Democrat, but no, it was Bush.
Okay.
Who initiated this program. So, like I said, so this program has existed since 2007. But keep in mind, I graduated college, and I'm going to reveal my age basically, in 2003. So I was already beginning to pay off my debt by the time that this program started. But go ahead.
Balance, wipe clean.
You were convinced that you qualified.
So we planned our whole lives around it.
Baker never missed a payment for 10 years. She says Navient, her loan servicer, repeatedly told her she was on track. In 2017, she applied for forgiveness and was rejected.
My payment plan was correct. My employment was correct. They just had issued it with the wrong pot of money, and nobody told me.
You had made 0 payments to qualify. 0. What was that moment like when you realized what you owed at that point?
I felt very guilty because what I'd done to my family. They don't deserve that. It's just wrong. It's wrong on so many levels.
Teachers, firefighters, police officers, at last count, the Department of Education has rejected more than 75,000 applications for forgiveness. Only 864 people successfully applied.
That's why a Republican did it, by the way. Cops and firefighters. They just threw teachers in to fucking throw them in. So,
but you see, hold on, pause. You see the rejection rate.
Yes, I do.
So it wasn't. So more than likely, even if you, as you saw with this teacher, you could have done what you were supposed to do and still be like, nah, you're not going to get it. So that was that has been the problem.
Made a load of payments that are just gone pretty much.
Not worthless in the end. And it wasn't a guarantee that you were going to have them forgiven, even though you've done your 10 years of service.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay.
99%.
These are people who went into public service in good faith and got screwed.
Exactly.
Seth Frotman is the executive director of the Student Borrower Protection Center.
Through rampant mismanagement at the Department of Education and rampant illegal practices at the student loan companies, it has become a broken promise for millions of Americans.
Baker, frustrated, began recording calls with Navient, her loan servicer.
I now have to start all over. So you can understand my frustration and disappointment and anger that's going through my mind right now.
I was just going to say, yeah, that is unfortunately very common.
They lie. They talk in circles. They tell you one thing and then you find out it's another.
In a statement to CBS News, Navient blamed a complex federal loan program, which is why we consistently advocate for policy reforms to simplify the system.
Pause.
Baker had to face.
Yeah.
You make 120 payments. It doesn't have to be consistent. 120 payments. You have to work in a public service field. Once you do that, loans are forgiven. What's so complicated about that?
Who knows? Like,
Anyway.
we don't want to spend money. That's what's complicated. You know, it's like insurance companies. They take all your money very easily, but then when it comes to actually get your money back out, you know, it's suddenly very complicated. You know.
The music. She restructured her loan and started over. She has 8.5 more years of payments to forgiveness.
You're set up to fail.
Set up to fail. Oh, absolutely. It's set up so that you're never paid off.
America's second largest teachers union has joined a lawsuit alleging that Navient misled borrowers. Both Navient and the Department of Education blame Congress for creating a complex, restrictive program.
Okay, Mark. We do have an update tonight, a great update on someone we featured last night. Tell us about that.
The story was about senior borrowers struggling with college debt. One of them was Serafina Galante, 76-year-old social worker in San Diego. A viewer who saw our story has agreed to pay off her loan in full, almost $40,000. I mean, that's loan forgiveness that the rest of these borrowers can only dream about.
Making a difference. Mark Strassman, thank you very much.
That's one of those fucking... I love how they put that in like it's supposed to be a good thing. That some fucking rich asshole decided and felt bad for this old lady who...
Right.
Like... Yeah, that's like one of those, you know, and she works 3 jobs and isn't it nice? Like, it's like, okay.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Again, I wanted to share this story to those bots. Kiss my ass. As I said, I basically paid off my debt if you want to count the interest. This program has been on the books. The issue has been the bureaucracy around it. Biden allegedly has fixed it, but even that, and again, it wasn't a guarantee I was going to get this loan forgiveness. And actually, the student provider I just saw on Reddit yesterday, the student provider that I had, you know, who had my loans most recently, are being sued, or at least are planning to get sued due to a lot of malpractice in terms of these student loans.
Right.
So, you know, but regardless, this program has existed for over 15 years. Anyone can do it if you want to, but as you said, Reef, people chose to go into a capitalist job where they feel like they're able to make more money rather than going to public service where this program has existed.
Even that
could have been
you
an
were literally
option
1% of applicants.
Right.
Like that's...
Well, keep in mind this this clip was from 4 years ago.
Sure.
But all the same, but prior to like what's happening now, there's not a guarantee that one, you were paid off. And actually just yesterday I was speaking, like a lot of my colleagues knew because I told them that I had loan forgiveness, but then a couple of them came to me, it was like, wait a minute, like, am I up for loan forgiveness? And I checked in with 2 of them and they've overpaid. Like they should have had their loan forgiveness already.
Long time
and they're
ago.
still paying.
Right.
Yeah. They shouldn't have to pay student loans anymore, but they're still paying into it.
Yeah.
So even now, even though Biden claims to have fixed the problem, like there's still issues. Now, granted, as they said, the Department of Ed has a lot to do with that too, but that's part of the executive branch, which ultimately falls on the president.
Right.
So, but regardless, anyway, I kind of wanted to start talking about a good story. And like I said, I wanted to be official with that letter that I should be getting hopefully soon, and then I'll update you guys with that. But as I said, there were a lot of good folks, mostly online, who gave me fair wishes, and then there was just those two miserable assholes who felt like they had to say something because of whatever reason. And and as I said, like, I did the work, I paid my debt, and
Fuck you.
I earned it.
Well, speaking of earning, don't forget to do this stuff. Like, subscribe, please share. We are heavily suppressed. It's nice when you guys share this with friends directly and tell them to come watch us. We appreciate all that. Make sure to leave a comment on the clip, on the stream. Always helps. And help us get to 2K. We're almost there. We're at what, 1.7? 1,007.
Yeah, 1.7. Yeah.
So we're real close. 300 of you. That shouldn't be too bad. Hit that subscribe button. So appreciate you.